What's up, everybody? I'm Johnnie Omega here with another movie review, this time talking about the new Stephen King adaptation and sequel to The Shining called Dr. Sleep. Now, me personally, I'm a big fan of most Stephen King movie adaptations, and I was really looking forward to this movie, so now that I've seen it, I'm ready to talk about it, so let's get to it. Danny Torrance is all grown up now, but still hasn't gotten over the traumatic events that happened in the Overlook Hotel. Now, struggling with alcoholism, he comes across a teenage girl named Abra who also has the ability to shine. Together, they must stop an evil cult that feeds off the shine that other people possess. So starting with what I liked about the movie, I love the way it was written and how the movie flows. This movie is coming out 39 years after the original, and even though it's a different director this time around, the tone of the movie is still pretty much the same. You can watch both movies back to back and not feel like you're watching two totally different things. Another thing I liked was the acting. I think everybody did a great job in this movie. Ewan McGregor was fantastic. I totally bought into the fact that this was a grown-up Danny. The two standouts for me though were easily Kylie Curran, who plays the teenager with The Shining, and Rebecca Ferguson, who plays the leader of the cult. Their performances separately were good, but they were also really good when they were on screen together. Probably the biggest thing I liked about this movie though kind of ties into what I said earlier about how the movie plays out and how it compares to The Shining. This isn't a typical horror movie with a whole bunch of jump scares. Most scenes rely heavily on tension building. And in a movie like this, that's really good because even though it is slow paced, each scene grabs your attention in a way where it leads you to where you need to be before it gives you the scare, as opposed to something just jumping out every 5 minutes. As far as what I didn't like about the movie, if I had to pick something, I think the first act story-wise does a couple of things that might turn some people off. For me, I liked it, but for the casual fan or somebody who probably isn't the biggest fan of The Shining, this movie could come off as unnecessarily slow. In the first act, they had to set up the characters, set up the motivations, which is normal for any movie, but then you add on the fact that they had to recreate and add some scenes from the 80s that lead us into present day, while also adapting a book that's a direct sequel to another book and still making this a sequel to a movie that took a whole lot of liberties with the book that it's based off of, and all of this being done while still trying to make Stephen King happy, who wasn't a fan of The Shining. The first act just does a lot, and like I said, I liked it, but I could totally see how it could take somebody about 30 or 40 minutes to get into this movie. And one more thing I would say as a negative isn't really with the movie, but it's more so with the people who say that you don't have to watch The Shining prior to watching this movie. In my personal opinion, I don't think you're going to fully enjoy this, and you're going to do yourself a great disservice if you go into this movie not having seen The Shining first. I'd personally compare it to trying to watch Terminator 2 before you watch Terminator 1, and I can personally use this analogy because as a kid, I saw T2 before I saw T1. You're still going to be able to follow the movie, and more than likely, you'll still enjoy it, but there are just certain characters and references that if you've never seen The Shining, you're really not going to know who they are or why they're important. So in conclusion, the acting was great, the story was great. The only flaws I really found in this movie are purely circumstantial, and they really depend on your feelings or lack thereof when it comes to The Shining. And compared to The Shining, obviously it's not as good, but it does still hold its own. And overall, I really like the world building that's set up in this movie, and I'd be very interested to see where they take it if they decide to move forward with another one. All that being said, I'd say this movie is a definite add to the Blu-ray collection. So comment below and let me know what you guys thought of the movie. And also, just a quick side note, Danny Lloyd, who played Little Danny in The Shining, actually makes a cameo appearance in this movie. He's one of the spectators talking during the baseball scene, and his role isn't significant at all, but I do think that it was cool that they were able to get him into this movie. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up and click that subscribe button to see what we got coming next.